Thank you
sir.
very much, Yamata, and thanks, comrades, for this invitation. Today look very hectic for me, but out of respect for una and because I don't give me word for joining una day today, and always pleased and ready for interact with fellow comrades in the APC. Just one quick correction. Me not to a member of the census committee, but in the last cycle, I've been the chair of the technical committee of the party from 2018 to 2023, and are familiar small with the workings of the census, having been a supervising minister for 3 years from 2007 to 2010, plus I study small demography and I know small about census. So I'm glad for this choice where we make about census because it's a very, very important tool. Before now, we be known more as a development tool rather than a political tool. Development tool because when you collect all the information, like where Yamata describe them, you get all the information about the people, the way the various social statistics. You look at the settlements that you get, you know what they will say. You will do your analysis and know side gaps, then they and know how for channel your interventions. It's also good for research because when you want to do any form of research, the first thing where you need for know now information about the people. Which side and day, with the secrets that we don't get this area, with the history of those types of things, and all that type of information. And you want to be able, if you have to do any intervention, you also want to know which are the appropriate place where you do this type of intervention, whether in terms of building a school, building a road, building a health facility, or any other development activity where you have to carry on. So census is a very, very important process. In Sierra Leone, usually by law, we get a census once every 10 years. And for several years, we always don't get with census once every 10 years. The only time where they can vary the dates for the census, now when, for example, we've been there in the war, would not be possible for do a census, we'll be get for delay and all the rest of it. So, but other than that, we will do a census every 10 years. The president gets the power for proclaim, say we forget a census at any time. And when I be recall in 2020, he do the proclamation, and in 2021, we been get the midterm census, where for the first time they decide for use census as a political tool, where they at variance with within the original intent for use census data. They don't use it as a political tool, but try for make sure say then disenfranchise some people and then give themselves in their stronghold some undue advantage. And you can see say because of that midterm census, where we as APC decide for boycott, but they still go ahead and do, anyway, in a skewed way, they succeed for skew the parliamentary representation in their favor, local council representation in their favor, and they even reduce the quota of development is supposed to go to areas where then they consider as strongholds of the APC. So this time we go through a census, but because of these attempts where they can make for politicize a census, when we be the work at the tripartite committee, we been take a decision for say any time when they do a census, therefore make sure say they do them 2 clear years before the next elections, so that they not go just rush a census, just so they go skew the data and use them to any undue advantage to any political committee where they under discussions. We say therefore do a census 2 years to the elections, which means if they been do the census in 2025, then we forget 2 clear years before 2028 plus a few months. Do the use that census data for the elections. Because I know say they deliberately want for continue for rely on the 2021 midterm census and also the 2015 census and 2021 census for able for reach their own conclusion in terms of the data that they use, then decide for delay the census by a year. Now, if we they get this census in 2026, if they adopt the recommendations of the tripartite committee, then we're not supposed to use that information. The party don't take a position for say we will still get a transition clause inserted in the revised constitution for allow for make this time only make we still able for use this census data for we next 2028 elections. And they don't instruct we as members of the legal team. You go strange for no say, me not a lawyer, but I do on the legal team of the party. And I mean they lead the team. We they go to a retreat where they start this evening. And you go through till Tuesday for go finalize the wordings. And we will make sure say in those negotiations we go insert a transition clause. We go allow we for still use the census data. This means, therefore, that we as sensitize with people learn sufficiently for make the register. We also get a responsibility for ensure say they're not engaged in any Dabaru games where they go use for ensure say then disenfranchise we want people that they under register people in the APC strongholds and over register people in the strongholds of the SLPP. So we therefore be vigilant and the expectation that every APCians at home and abroad will make an responsibility for give the necessary support to this process. We as a party don't set up a census technical committee chaired by Balogun Logus Koroma, where they accompany the process strictly. And we also get representation at the highest level of planning for the census, where the advisory committee of the statistics Sierra Leone. So we attend those meetings and we get feedback. And this committee, they accompany the process. They don't complete the cartographic mapping. Now then the use that data for define the enumeration areas. And after that, then we'll get into the recruitment process of the personnel we they need for the census. They also get for now start the simultaneously the procurement process, forget the instruments where they use for capture the data. And on the back end also, therefore don't get the software where they get for use for able for take the information from the tablets where they use at the field and then capture straight into the back end of the system and somebody go able do the calculations real time. So this is the process that is ongoing at the moment. And we as a party don't take a decision for accompany this process very closely. And as I say earlier on, would expect every APCian, every well-meaning APCian, will treat this issue with the seriousness we deserve. The large gap where we see in the numbers of APC versus SLP parliamentarians were skewed in favor of SLPP Now, primarily as a result of the way where they manipulate the midterm census. So we get to take this census very, very seriously. We want to ensure that it becomes a real development tool. So the next government where APC get for form, by all means, will use this data for assist we in see how we go distribute development across the country and how we go intervene in different areas for ensure say the development it go well. We will also want for use this process for ensure say the imbalances because the census go really give you a picture of the level of services that were available all over the country. We will also make sure say we know exactly where the deficits then they, especially if without the census, we know that areas in the north, Kwenadugu, Falaba, Cambia, some parts of Bombali, and some Kolele, even Potloko, are very, very disadvantaged in terms of facilities. And so this credible census data, it will give you a fair picture of all of those realities, and it will inform how we will plan better for we development process. So I want to tell you all plenty thank you for this opportunity when I give me for make this initial comment on the census, within the value of the census, within the census, and the part where we need for play, and the need for where make we be very vigilant in ensuring that it is not again used exclusively as a political tool for disadvantage we as APCs, but rather make we maintain them. Make we continue for keep them as a development tool where we will continue for use for promote with development of the country. Thank you very much, and over to you, Yamata.